I've trained calisthenics for 10 years. I've solely focused on strength. But what's on the other side? What can we learn from endurance? This is my journey to running a 70-kilometer ultramarathon in Japan. Okie dokie, boys and girls, it is day 22 of Road to Shimanami, and well, another 10-kilometer run has been completed at a normal speed. I'm I was gonna do some speed work tomorrow, but seeing as it is quite snowy and icy at the moment, I don't think it's gonna be happening. But no matter what happens, the 10 kilometers will be completed because that's how Saitama basically got that strong, right? Saitama from One Punch Man, if you watched it, he completed 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats in a 10-kilometer run every day. And while I'm not doing the sit-ups and the squats and the push-up part, I am gonna try and do the 10 kilometers every day, no matter what, no matter how shitty it feels, no matter how much it hurts. I'm gonna just try and adjust and, shuffle along until I become as strong and bald as Saitama. But yeah, the speed really doesn't matter, right? It's optional. It's it's good to do it once in a while because when you have speed, it's like strength, right? If you do strength training and you do weighted push-ups and then you remove the weight, normal push-ups are gonna feel easier. In the same way, if you can run faster, like easy running, slow running is gonna feel even easier, allowing you to go further. But it's not a top priority because in the end, you have to train specifically for endurance. You have to train specifically for long distances. And well, going slow is your main bread and butter, basically, to do that. But when it comes to today's workout, I'm actually gonna combine skills and basics, right? Push-ups, and then the planche and the front lever will be in the beginning. But I'm gonna condense the two because a question I sometimes get is, well, how do you combine skills and basics? And well, you can combine the both, but you have to ask yourself first, do you want this? Because when you divide your energy, right, amongst two separate goals, you now will progress less at each of those goals. And that's because, well, even if you divide your energy, it's not your energy is not going to multiply. You have the same amount of energy. So you will progress at skills and you will progress at basics, but the speed at which you progress is going to be slower. So you first have to ask yourself, do I care enough about both? If not, then you should just focus on one, and then you can make really quick progress on that one, right? But for me, I want to maintain or even build a little bit of both my skills and my basics at the moment. So I'm going to combine both into one training by basically doing a condensed version of both, right? I have so much energy to spend, so I can't do a full workout for both skills and the basics. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do half a workout for each, or so to speak, right? It's just about half a workout. It's going to be a shorter workout for each. And yeah, that's basically the most important part. If you do combine skills and basics in one workout, I would suggest do the skills first because those require the most strength, right? Basics, I consider dips, push-ups, pull-ups, rows, and so on. Those are, like I said, basic exercises. They aren't as heavy on the body as, for example, a planche or a front lever. So you should do the heavier stuff in the beginning, and then once you're done with that, right, once you're done with the skills, you can move on to basics, onto push-ups, and still have energy to do them. Because if you kill yourself on push-ups first, well, good luck trying a planche afterwards. It's gonna suck tremendously, I can tell you that much. But yeah, that's basically how I try and approach it. And today I will first start off with 3 heavy sets of both planche and front lever, and then I will move on to the push-ups. But like I mentioned, it's gonna be heavy sets, so I'm gonna do 1 warm-up set for each planche and front lever first, and basically not count those. So let's go ahead and start with the warm-up set. No bleedy nose. That's good. Holy fuck. Whoopsie, this set wasn't recorded. 10 pull-ups to 10 seconds hold to a press. I'm sorry. Alright, so basically some unprecedented stuff I forgot to, or not, I didn't forget to record. I pressed record, I feel like, and then it wasn't recording, but I did a weighted, yeah, it's going now. I did a weighted planche hold of about 5 to 6 seconds, which was my max, by the way. And then, yeah, now I'm gonna do the same for front lever, basically. Adding some weight to my feet, and then superset it with just regular body weight. But like the body weight hold for the planche was only 2 or 3 seconds, so nothing too major. Anyway, it adds some intensity, and well, there's only a couple sets. I'm only doing 3 sets of both planche and front lever today, so because the sets are so limited, I think I can do a bit more on the intensity, but yeah, let's go. Alright, fine. Let's move on to push-ups. Alright, time for some push-ups, and what I try to focus on is when it comes to these basics, I've already worked my shoulders, you know, the front of my shoulders, the back of my shoulders. I've worked my back, I've worked my triceps, my biceps, my grip. Basically, the only muscle group in your upper body, because obviously lower body isn't getting touched a lot. When it comes to upper body and skill training, the only muscle group that's not really getting targeted is your chest. So what I try to do personally, or what I like to do, is to basically focus on my chest during the basic training, because if I focus on my chest, it's a muscle group that is not really used during the skills, and yes, it is gonna have an effect, but it would have it's a smaller effect than, for example, if I try to train my biceps and my back with basics, you know, because then I'm destroying the same muscles that I use for skills. So I try to do these push-ups in a way that really targets my chest. The way I go about it, let's do a quick warm-up set, is I retract my shoulders. So usually in the push-ups you would hear that you have to have a hollow body a bit, right? You have to push your shoulders forward. I like to kind of retract my shoulders like you would on a bench press to expose the shoulders, and then I go down. And the most important thing that I try to focus on is to go down deep enough. That's why I have this weight under me. So basically I touch it with my belly and then I go back up, and I try to make sure that I don't fully extend my arms all the way every time, but I try to pay attention to it. And then once I go quick, I kind of lose sight of it. And one more thing that you might notice is my hips are sagging a lot. That's something that comes with retracting the shoulders. And well, some people say I should squeeze my core like this, You are entirely correct, Like, this is a better push-up. Whether I will actually do it, that's a different question. Because once I get going and once I try to aim for reps, I just forget about the core. Like, I try to pay attention to it in the beginning of a set, but it flies out the window. Perhaps someday I will learn, but for the moment, like, people say that, oh, I'm gonna hurt my lower back and stuff. I haven't had any trouble with that yet, but I've been doing this push-up for a couple months already now, so I think that's fine. I mean, if you want to engage your core, but I think intensity, personally for me, on this exercise is the most important part. That being said, last time I found out I was doing a bit too much push-ups because I had gotten weaker, which is a sign I wasn't fully recovered. So today I'm gonna go for shorter sets. I'm not gonna go for sets of 70 reps instead. I'm gonna try and reach 20 sets every minute on the minute, EMOM style, with 30 reps on each set. Let's go. Alright, so I'll try to explain what happened. A sick chest pump just happened. Whew. And shoulders as well, obviously, from the skills. Even the back, although, only 3 sets for the back. My shoulders, I guess, stayed pumped from the push-ups a little bit, but whew, full body or full upper body, I guess. Full upper body workout. 3 exercises is all you need. Very easy. 5-minute workout, well, not really. Took me more than 5 minutes, I think almost an hour when you combine rest in between exercise and stuff like that. But, the planche, obviously, shoulders, but also your biceps, also your forearms. Forearms are trained by the front lever as well, because you're holding on to the bar. And then in the front lever, you obviously have the triceps as well when you're in a straight arm position. And then, well, every single muscle fiber in your back will be screaming as well. And not to mention the rear delts. So everything in your shoulders, your arms, and your back has basically been covered. That leaves you with the chest. Well, I'm not mentioning abs, but abs are just trained along the way. In the planche you have like the obliques, I guess, and in the front lever you have like the main abs here. Everything's covered, right? So the only thing that's lacking is a bit of your chest, which was covered with the push-ups. And when it comes to making progress performance-wise rather than physical-wise, like I mentioned, if you want to progress really fast in the skills, this is not the most efficient way. Doing basic exercises is not going to help you get stronger at the skills. It's going to give you a base power, it's going to give you some base strength, but unless you put your energy and effort into the skills directly, you're never going to master them, right? So if you want to progress on the skills and you only care about skills, it's better to only train skills. If you want to progress in the basics and you only care about basics, it's better to focus on the basics only, right? And if you feel like, well, I don't care about being the strongest at either of them, I like doing both of them, I like the feeling of both of them, well, then do them both. That's what I do, and I feel like you can still progress a little bit if you do that, right? But anyway, that's it for today's training. Very happy with how it went. And well, I'm gonna repeat this because it's a very important part. When you do skills and basics in one workout, do the skills first, the basics after, because skills are your power moves, right? They require the most strength, and if you do the easier exercises first, you're gonna be able to push your body further to a point where you're not able to do the skills anymore. So keep that order in mind. Skills, then basics, if you combine it in one workout. But that's it for me today. I'm gonna head downstairs and have some dinner, and then I'll see you tomorrow for a leg day. Yes. Okie dokie, boys and girls, it is day. What the fucking day is it?